Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. Today I'm pretty spoiled. I get to try the last of the small lot series from Redwood Empire. So luckily enough, I've been able to acquire every single bottle in this series so far this year. And this is the brand new Van Duzen, and this is a straight rye whiskey. So we've had the Screaming Titan, which is the wheated. We've had the Foggy Burrow, which is the American single malt, and we've had the Devil's Tower, which is the high rye mash bill bourbon. And then this one is going to be a little interesting. Actually, a little interesting, because this is the Van Duzen straight rye whiskey, but it's 64% rye, but there's no corn in the mash. Nope. Instead, it's 31% malted barley is the second greatest component in the mash bill, and then only 2% wheat. Really interesting mash bill here, so I'm excited to give this a shot and see how it fares. So let's go ahead and crack it open, and then I'll sort of unpack what it is, what the inspiration is, and all that business. Big shout out to Mikey P for acquiring the bottle for me. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, we'll let that open up a little bit. So yeah, here you go. That's the Van Duzen. Love the bottle. Love the branding on Redwood Empire. I think that everything they do branding-wise just looks fantastic. But here we go. So this is named after a river in California. Very pretty river, the Van Duzen. Their little write-up says, the mighty Van Duzen River is a significant tributary to the Eel River, carving its own course through 429 vibrant square miles of countless redwood groves. Very cool. The proof on this is 94, so it comes in at 94 proof. So not super hot. It's actually tied with the Foggy Burrow for the lowest proof point in the series. And MSRP on this is $80. Now I have high hopes for this. Overall, I have been pretty impressed with the small lot series from Redwood Empire. I loved Devil's Tower. I thought Devil's Tower, it was the first one in the series that came out, and it blew me away. I was like, this is incredible. It came out at the beginning of the year. I adore that bottle. That's the high rye bourbon. And then we got the Foggy Burrow. And, I like American single malts. And this one is very unique as an American single malt. It sort of deviates from what I would consider the standard profile of an American single malt. It's really heavy on, like, mocha latte, creamy latte kind of notes. Loved it. Again, was very impressed. Then we got the Screaming Titan, which is the wheated. And you guys who are regulars on the channel know I'm not impressed by it. I think it's a nothing burger. I think it lacks flavor, it lacks complexity, and I'm just generally not a fan of it. So 2 out of 3 being bangers is still shooting pretty good, right? And now we're going to find out where this Van Duzen is going to fall and see if it can sort of maybe recuperate the losses on the Screaming Titan. Well, the nose is really interesting. It's kind of what you would expect, honestly, because I'm getting a lot of that, honey and yellow fruits that you get on rye whiskeys. But I'm also getting that same sort of mocha note that I was getting on the Foggy Burrow. It's probably, I would imagine, the same malted barley that they use in the Foggy Burrow. And again, that's 31% in the mash is that malted barley. So roughly a third of the mash bill here. What an interesting marriage. It's sort of like, I feel like this was really common with shows when I was growing up, where you had the husband in a TV show was just like your real average dude. Like, Everybody Loves Raymond, freaking Fred Flintstone, the George Jetson, right? Just real average dude. And then the wife is a dime, right? You know what I mean? A lot of like sitcoms kind of followed that routine where it's just like, here's the dude, he's real normal, but he's funny, right? And then his wife is somehow like friggin' gorgeous, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like that. It's a strange marriage, but works harmoniously, just works. Yep, honey, yellow fruits, a little bit of mocha latte on the nose. Very interesting. Well, let's try it. Cheers. I tell you what, that's extremely unique. Right? I don't know that I've had anything that tastes quite like that. It is very similar to the Foggy Burrow. I will say that. Very similar notes as the Foggy Burrow gives me. And I really like that pour. So that's not a bad thing. But it's also coming in with this like black peppercorns and honey on bread notes. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm getting that sort of mocha latte in there. A little bit of nice milk chocolate. And some, creamy coffee, not like bitter ground coffee or bitter black coffee. It's more like your lattes. It's sort of softened up a little bit and creamy. There's also this note in here that makes me think of, remember honeycomb cereal? Like honeycomb cereal? When I was growing up, I used to love that stuff. That was like candy. I get that as well, right in the mid palate. The finish has this real dry tannic oak to it. Sort of dries everything out with a little bit of that peppercorn, a little bit of that honey at the end. And that's interesting because right up front, I'm getting that creamy latte and that creamy mouthfeel, and then it's like somebody takes a shop vac to the inside of my mouth and just sucks all the water out at the end of it. You know, you get this drying effect, but it's not a bad thing, right? I say that, but it's certainly not a bad sensation by any means. It's really surprising how I feel like that malted barley is really becoming the star of this pour. I mean, I'm definitely getting rye notes. There's a little bit of that, fresh cut grass, slight mintiness, the peppercorn and the honey. Those things that I've come to attribute with it, a decent rye. But those things are sort of there to support and uplift and complement all of what I'm getting from the malted barley, which is really reminiscent of that Foggy Burl. The more I keep going in on this, the more I get, what really comes to mind is, the edges of a brownie pan, and you get that sort of thick and chewy, chocolatey brownie, sort of cake to the side of the pan. Reminds me of that stuff, right? What an interesting pour that is. I would say as far as the small lot series goes, if I was to rate them from my favorite to least favorite, this is just leaps and bounds better than the Screaming Titan. Not even close, right? I feel like Screaming Titan's over here, and the rest are all over here. I think for order of favorite to least favorite, right there. My favorite pour of the series is the Devil's Tower, high rye bourbon, followed by the Foggy Burl, American single malt, followed by the Van Duzen, which I think is really good. I really liked this pour quite a bit, so don't think that just because it's in third out of this series that it's bad. I think it's really good. But then you have this huge jump down to the Screaming Titan, which I don't think belongs in the series. I think take it back to the drawing board, take it out of the series, let these three be your flagship pours for this series because they're all really good. And it stinks to have something so forgettable sort of drag down the average here. But I like that Van Duzen quite a bit. If I were to give it a score per my scale, I think where I would land is, I think I gave the Foggy Burl a 7.8. I think for the Van Duzen, I'm going to fall at a 7.4. Because I think it's really good. And I think if you see it on the shelf at MSRP, I would recommend that you pick up a bottle of this. It's memorable. It's not abrasive. It's not offensive. It's sort of creamy, soft, approachable, yummy. Kind of got a cozy vibe to it, which I think is suiting for now heading into the fall weather. So my seal of approval. I think it's a pretty good pour. I like that quite a bit. Thanks again, Mikey, for hooking me up with a bottle. I appreciate you, brother. And I'm looking forward to tonight. I think we're starting out our bottle share. I think we're sharing like 4 pours tonight, everybody, in the bottle share. I think it's 11 of us, 12 of us, something like that. We're all gonna sit down, enjoy some whiskey together. Should be a lot of fun. We got a lot of nights ahead of us, so buckle up. Cheers, my friends. If you would like to get involved in our community, feel free to check the link to our Discord in the description. It's totally free to join the Discord. If you want to get involved in the events that we do, feel free to join the Patreon. The lowest tier is just $1 a month. Basically free. Cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.